No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we've got 1 million subscribers. Woo! So I figured it was only right that I bring things back around for old time's sake, get the old Robes guy back in here.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
For those who don't know, Robesman is a guy, a friend of the show, frequent collaborator, co-host.
People are like, how'd you end up co-hosting No Jumper? And I was like, not really quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the beast that it sort of evolved into that none of us really expected, isn't it kind of odd to think of
me?
How or just everything. Everything seems strange in retrospect.
I always look at myself like some kind of like anthropologist, like coming in being like, what? Like this scene and this whole vibe, whatever was going on, like I didn't know about it, and I learned about it like on the show. And so it was always super interesting to see it kind of grow and develop into 1 million subscribers.
Well, I always feel kind of guilty when people ask me about like you and House Phone and stuff, because it was never anything against you guys that I sort of started doing more of the interviews myself. I didn't even really notice that I was doing it. It just sort of, I've noticed it with a lot of podcasts too. Joe Rogan, Combat Jack, they sort of like tend to like get some reinforcements over time, and then they sort of realize that they are really more in it for doing it solo in a way.
We made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I don't mean like you, but maybe I do mean you. I feel like there was a lot of weird experiments.
Right, exactly, yeah.
That could have been better with less people on microphones.
Riff Raff.
Nick Coletti, Getter. We had too many funny people. Evan Breen, me, you, like Evan Catfish, Breen, yes, screaming.
It was just outrageous. It's like 4 mics, 6, 7, 8 people. Like, why were we even attempting to do that? There was definitely episodes where it was like driving me insane.
All of those guys are independently super funny, and then everyone like has a little bit of an ego and just trying to be funny over each other.
Yeah, 6 people screaming in a room, and as when you have people who understand what it is to be a co-host, maybe it could work if you have 6 people. You look at like Howard Stern, he's got like 4 people on mics,
right? And they all kind of know their place,
right? They know their place, right?
And I made the mistake in early episodes. I think that when it started, you were like learning how to interview, learning what it was, kind of learning as you went, and a lot of times you're like, this might be a little bit of a weird conversation. I'll bring a co-host just so we can at least talk in case whoever's over here isn't talking.
It was a little bit of an insecurity thing in a way, in the sense that like, well, if this conversation doesn't go well, at least I could fall back on being able to bounce back and forth with Roseman, which is good, but at the same time, it started to sort of feel like I was handicapping myself, like by giving myself that out.
Yeah, and also when I first jumped on, there were a few interviews where I definitely took too much of a lead in not being like the co-host or the color commentary guy. I tried to grab it and just go with it, and I realized that causes a lot of people talking over each other, and you don't.
It was really never anything personally about like your co-host style though, and same thing I would say for House Phone. It was more just the fact that like when I think about interviews that I have coming up that I'm excited about, for the most part, I'm excited to like see how it unfolds one-on-one. And if anything, I want less people in the room. Like that's a big thing that I've been working on, is making there be none of their people in the room and none of my people, so that it could, like when Joe Rogan does his shit, it's him, the other guy, the engineer Jamie, that's it. And that to me, like when you're sealed off like that, like the Andy Dick one was one that I really enjoyed, but he's getting distracted the whole time by people lighting backwoods, and he's all over the place, and
that's more. And once the live stream started, that's more of the live stream atmosphere. Like we got to kill 6 hours. Let's bring a bunch of guys in, circle them in. You can have little side conversations or whatever. But I definitely agree that like even me watching the interviews, when it's someone that I really want to hear from, and there's fucking House Phone or me saying something dumb on the side, you're like, shut the fuck up, let the guy talk or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you sort of have to look at like what people want from the product. And over time with No Jumper, I started to realize like, oh, people fuck with this because it's a really, really in-depth look into the minds of people that you might not normally get that from, because the average person my age who's like a good interviewer or whatever probably is not as focused on rap music as I am, so that's kind of how it seems sort of unique, is that like nobody else was going to do like a really, really good 1,000-band Fawny interview before I did it, in a way. Hate to say it.
The way you described No Jumper originally to me was like, this is for all, and to everybody, like this is for people outside of BMX doing interesting, weird, strange things, you know?
I
So
agree with
like,
that,
hey,
yeah,
this guy writes for Noisy. He comes in, he does an interview. Hey, this is a porn star. And then at the time, it was funny because it was like, oh, this is a YouTuber. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing to be or whatever, you know?
Right, yeah.
And now I'm like, by the way, I want to talk about YouTubers because I'm like so fascinated by all that shit. I've like been watching a lot more YouTube, and I don't watch it. I don't know how you watch like a vlog or someone or whatever, but I like click, click, click. You know, like ADD kind of watch and burn through stuff, and then get something interesting, and then click something else and kind of go on that spider web. But I think the people watching No Jumper want to see like musicians, rappers specifically, and that's kind of the path that like has led to the most success on this channel.
Yeah, and that's why over the past couple months is the time during which I've really begun to like see the full vision for what No Jumper as a media company is going to look like. And I want to talk about that more as well as my personal channel. I just want to do a little promotion real quick. Let's just say nojumper.com, this new Rope Gang merch that we have in stock, No Jumper hats, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. It's all available right now from nojumper.com.
That's a nice little touch.
I like
right
that.
there.
That's a touch of detail. That's a Rope Gang signature right there, insignia.
Nice.
And I also just want to say that a lot of people watching this might not realize that I now have my own personal YouTube channel called Adam22, and that's where I've been posting my vlogs. There's going to be other types of content that's going to appear there as well. And that's one thing that I've really been thinking is that the host chats on No Jumper, loved them, but ultimately ended up feeling like too much for the channel. So that's something that I think I'm going to bring back to the Adam 22 thing. And I really want to do that weekly.
That makes a lot of sense because this particular episode we're doing right now won't do crazy numbers like, you know, some popular rapper, just because this is for like the hardcore people who want to see what goes on behind the scenes and get a little bit deeper into just maybe the business side of stuff. Yeah,
like with the Adam 22 YouTube channel, like with the vlogs and everything, and then I like the idea of maybe like a weekly podcast that's just sort of like, okay, here's me, here's a few of my friends, let's talk about stuff, like a real deep dive into our personal lives type thing. Whereas like No Jumper has just become something so much bigger that I don't think that it should encompass that now. And I feel the same way like on the Adam 22 show. Like if we sit there and talk about your shit for a half hour, it's like Robes, man, House Phone, even like, you know, Chris Long, whoever the people that I'm hanging out around.
Shout out Chris Longers.
You know, the good, Chris Longers. Love that name.
Yo, so, wait, fuck. I just lost my entire train of thought. But I was going to say, on the No Jumper channel, there have been some very No Jumper focused, you know, vlogs that have done great numbers and what. So, like, if you go on a tour, or are there still going to be like maybe vlogs that go into No Jumper, or is it all Adam 22?
My whole thing, okay, so as stands right now, we basically have two content formats on No Jumper, which is the podcast and then the Exposed series. And we have another style of content that's coming that doesn't necessarily have a name yet, but those are going to be more like I don't want to say documentary, but they're going to be more like high-end vlogs. You know, the sort of thing like when I went on tour with Max O'Cream and Trill Sammy, I had my guy Tony Maloof film like a piece about it. I want to do stuff that's like, you know, like I'm supposed to do one they'll just give away is like smoke perp and I'm 22, go to the Gucci store type thing where I bring an actual filmer. That might be tough because I don't know if they're going to let us film in there.
I get what you're saying though. You mean like a little more production value, a little more thought out. Maybe
I really think No Jumper could be like a really dope media company overall. So for me to take away my iPhone vlogging that I had grown so fond of, that was really my way of separating and saying, okay, this No Jumper thing is not all about me, because as soon as I started to produce like the exposed content that was taking longer to produce, I just really didn't feel good about sticking my random ass vlog next to it. And I just woke up one day and was like, nah, you know, I need a,
because let's be honest,
channel.
Let's be honest, not all vlogs are created equal.
Not all created equally. No, that's for sure.
And there are some where it's like you in your car and then you at the apartment.
Yeah, and I don't like to make those kind of vlogs anymore. I don't like to make vlogs unless I'm actually having like a good full day. And typically full days don't include like if I'm doing interview prep or interviews themselves or live streams, it's almost impossible for me to like really do a good vlog because they're just so time intensive. Like today I did so much research for a rapper interview, so it's like I don't know what the vlog would have really been.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too that I just couldn't. I was never really super into it. You were like, hey, can you co-host this thing with somebody that I don't know? And I'm like, all right. And I try to like do a quick amount of research, but I just don't have like the patience for that.
Yeah. It was like, why? That was obviously not your strong suit. Our strong suit is us just having a good rapport and being able to. Yeah. And not that you're a bad interview either, because I feel like do you think we did any like really good introspective interviews together that stand out to you?
Damn, let me think. I mean, it's really, for me, it was really all about what the guest brought when gave me to work with. You know, anytime there were girls, you know, we're having a blast.
That's our
just
element.
like, yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, because we have like the boss, big boss man guy, and then you're like more sensitive. And I always thought that was super funny with girls because it's like I'm not really willing to give much, and then meanwhile you're like very giving.
Trying to make them laugh, basically.
I love that. I mean, when I think about it, you know, what's one thing I was thinking about because I tried to listen to the last podcast that we did together, which is probably like 15 months old at this point.
How many views does it have now?
About 300K.
The Adam 22 interview?
Oh. I feel like this one will do quite well just because it's 1 million. It's a, you know, more people know who I am now and stuff. But I was thinking that's like the thing that stands out to me a lot now. By the way, I tried to listen to like the first 15 minutes and it was a little rough because I talked about my childhood a lot. A lot of childhood abuse talk.
I got right in there, man. I got right in there.
You did. That was cool. But yeah, that's one thing that stands out to me now is that in the beginning, I was much more down to take podcasts from people that maybe did not have a lot of clout and that maybe I didn't think were that cool, but it was like, wow, it's a good podcast. And now when I think about it, I feel like I have so much more room to just be like, I want this person, and just to pick who I actually think is dope, which is, so it's a nice change. It was hard to get interviews early on, and now it's like, I'm kind of like beating them off with a stick every day.
It was always interesting, like who would get an interview or whatever in the beginning and stuff, and also I think that you can't ignore it though. I think that the daily vlogging really helped the channel grow and get to where it's at, but also turn some people who might, you know, just be more casuals like off to the channel. And I think that swinging it back around to be more focused is a great idea because like vlogs now it's so oversaturated. Yeah. And here's the thing: is this is what I want to talk about YouTube, man. Is like what do you think about Jake Paul and the Jake Paulers?
Well, Jake Paul, I believe, has like kind of shown himself to be a bit of a shithead over the past year or so, 6 months that I've been aware of him. He's definitely done some weird things. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if he's just really, really intentionally playing this like hateable character because, you know, like when I listen to him rap, I'm like, well, there's no way that we're supposed to like this or think this is good, right? Like he would have gone and got a writer if he wanted people to like it. Right, but he just fucking... Yeah, it's like he's rapping as badly as possible. And you know, I heard that he writes all the raps for everybody else in his crew too, which is very strange to me. It's like, do you think you're good at it? Or do you think that you're so good at being bad at it that you should be bad at it for everybody else too? Well, yeah, just like, you know, I shouldn't be watching Jake Paul. I'm 32. Like, I should not be talking about Jake Paul. But here I am doing that because it was so interesting how out of everybody, there's people with way more subscribers. His own brother has way more subscribers, or, you know, millions more subscribers than him or whatever. But he just like did a series of kind of like really hateable things that got him like main old school like media press coverage, which now like brought him, he went down and then he went back up or whatever. And he's just like, literally, I saw something like, all right, I'll watch some of his shit. And it's like literally all this dude has is just energy. And he brings energy every day. Bought him a mansion and like Lamborghinis and Lambos shit. And yeah, and it's crazy. And then I like dig deeper, and I'm like, oh, he's beefing with like this dude FaZe Banks. Did you go to his house? I went to FaZe Banks' house one time. Yeah. Did you see there? Like he just got in a fight in his bar in Cleveland, and I loved it. Just watched Phil DeFranco give like a full recap. I watched that too. I'm just seems like, kind of shady on all parts. I don't know who to believe. Well, and I'm friends with FaZe Banks, but it does seem like everybody was kind of lying, which doesn't surprise me that much because when you get into a bar fight, you really know what's going on. Like, you know, that's the thing is that the part that didn't look great is FaZe throwing the glass and FaZe swinging on the guy from the back. But if someone even touches your girl, you can probably go after him. But it was just like, I don't have a violent bone in my body. All of a sudden he's swinging. And it's just weird because when I watched him swing on that guy from behind after he hit Alyssa, he didn't hit Alyssa, maybe like pushed her a little bit. But, I mean, you're already mad as fuck. You just seen a guy, like, kind of, sort of touch your girl. I might lose it, too. But then when I describe it on Snapchat 5 minutes later, maybe that version of it is going to seem a lot different than the way it seemed in real life. I don't know. But, and I mean, he jumped right to, like, oh, a guy was grabbing my girl's ass. And then, like, that sort of disappeared as it went on. So I really didn't know. The scary thing is, like, yo, the narcissism level of what it takes to actually, like, be a daily vlogger combined with, like, you know, the abuse of power. If you get some drinks in you and all of a sudden think someone wronged you and you deserve to be, you know, in the
basement of the bar where you probably shouldn't be. You can probably just be like, all right, my girl's coming out. Tell her I went upstairs, and
You know, a big part of this argument seemed to be hinging on the idea that he was trying to get into the women's restroom. And then nobody seems to suggest that, like, oh, like, why would a guy be going into a women's restroom? The only reason a guy goes into a women's restroom is to do cocaine at the bar, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, nobody's going to follow this through to, like, the logical conclusion.
The cocaine conclusion?
I mean, I don't know that FaZe Banks does that. I've definitely never did that with him, but it just seemed kind of interesting to me. Also, and I like him, but I just want to say that in that video, when I watched the Phil DeFranco recap, it's like, I never knew that he was bald.
Yeah. That was a huge revelation. That's the
Exposed.
thing. Exposed. And it's like, I got a couple of my friends now are taking some stuff for the hairline. They're asking me about mine. It's just like, it's just going to happen. My shit's just going to happen how it happens.
But you're going to let it rock. You're not going to go shaved?
I'll just go. I mean, I'll see where we go.
I feel like I kind of took over the shaved head lane.
Yeah, I can't. If I go shaved head and we're sitting here talking, that's a problem.
Well, if you kept your beard, it would be one thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like me and Rosenberg are sitting here talking to each other, and we had shaved heads. When I interviewed Wyclef, I definitely threw a hat on though.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't want to give any room for him to assume.
It took a while for everyone to adjust to the shaved head for you. I think there was
It was right after that last interview we did. So that's really interesting. In that interview too, which is funny, is that I was sick and I had like a real fuzzy face and I still had hair. I wasn't very like well groomed or anything. So I looked like a fucking mess in that one. And in the thumbnail even I had my hood up and everything. I just kind of looked like a mess. That was
okay, let me ask you something. You might have to edit this out.
Let's hear it.
You edited out a part of that interview. I didn't think you should.
What?
That how the No Jumper channel got started, the come up how to's.
All right, yeah. I just thought that was kind of irrelevant at the time, but yes.
Just say it. Like, who gives a fuck?
No, yeah. When it first started out, it was a BMX channel. That's why when you look at the most popular
it's changing, but there's still that 15 million views.
I'm never like, when am I ever going to make a piece of content that's more than 15 million?
You might.
Maybe, but that one still gets millions of views per month. What he's talking about is if you go to the No Jumper YouTube and you look at the most popular videos. When I first started, okay, I'm just going to say this so that you know exactly what happens. When I first started, the idea was for that channel to be all how-tos about BMX tricks.
Yeah, the come up how-tos was the No Jumper.
Here's how you bunny hop, here's how you do this, blah, blah, blah. And then over time sort of started to realize like that's stupid. I should just put those how-tos onto the same BMX channel, the other account that is still the Come Up BMX. And then at a certain point, the main channel got fucked up and I couldn't put any videos on it for a couple months because of like a content strike or something. The channel was flagged, so I had to use the other channel. So I just during that like a couple month period, I put a bunch of videos onto the channel that's now No Jumper, and a few of them happened to do incredibly well, got millions of views. And then once the other channel got re-enabled, I just went back to using that one, and then the No Jumper channel sort of sat dormant for a long time. And even for a while, I was putting up a lot of like crash clips. Like,
is the official channel? Did it get switched to No Jumper? Or is it still Come Up How Tos?
You can go to youtube.com/No Jumper, but it's also youtube.com/the Come Up How Tos. So
the Come Up How Tos,
or youtube.com/Adam22 Forever is my personal channel.
Oh, it's got the word forever in it.
Couldn't do just Adam22. Yeah, that hurt.
YouTube is the weirdest thing with that, and they're still so weird with that with the naming convention. But
can I just complain about the fact
that... Yeah, let's talk about monetization.
My fat boy, I know nobody likes to hear about this. My fat boy interview that I did, positive interview. We're not really talking about drugs in particular or sex that I remember so much. Boom. I requested the monetization before I even put it out. Confirmed by manual review that there should be no ads on this.
And there's they are hiring 10,000 people to comb videos.
10,000 employees to make these bad decisions. Yeah,
I'll watch YouTube.
I reached out to my network and I just said, hey, like, do I have any recourse on this? Because and you know what the thing about it that hurts so bad is that it's like my video, A Day in the Life of Lil Pump, has over 5 million views. I put it out like a little over a month ago or whatever. That video went from getting like 300,000 views a day to getting like 20,000 views a day as soon as the monetization status changed.
Oh, because they're only gonna promote monetized videos,
right? And so that is kind of like the really insulting part. Is just that it's not just that, oh, I don't get to make a bunch of money off it. I would be willing to accept that, but it's the fact that it's going to get a tiny percentage of the audience. Like with this video, if I put this on YouTube and it says like confirmed by manual review that this can't be monetized, it's like the fact that I have no recourse and that it's so unfair and that a tiny percentage of my audience is going to see it, it's just like it's hard to keep going at that point. Somehow I broke through that.
You did break through because I remember the huge adpocalypse and when you got demonetized and you made the let's just talk about it. You made the Patreon
Tried
page.
the Patreon. Oh,
and it got the biggest backlash I've ever seen.
yeah. I fell back from that right away. That was not.
But I gotta admire, like, people will go out there and just make mistakes and then figure it out and then be like, oh shit, that was a mistake, and then you know, switch it up to the let's do some live streaming type things.
And you know what's crazy about it too is that the live streaming thing is not in any way. It's not really in any way different than the Patreon thing. It's still just a way for people to donate money, but they get to feel involved because we listen to their song, we watch the music video, whatever. You know, I don't do the live stream thing that much. I do it like once every week or two now.
Yeah, so you slowed that down.
Yeah, I don't really. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that doing it too much, I hate. Like, I really hate. Like, I could do it once a week. I'm really not trying to. And I was telling like my personal trainer, which is there's a new thing. I was telling him today, and he was like, "You make how much money on it?" And he's like, "Why don't you do it every night?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I cannot do that."
But even if you did it every night, there's diminishing.
Yeah, it would diminish over
So
time.
yeah, if it's more special, if people who like actually got to wait till they hear their song once a week or get the repost, or
And we
whatever.
charge more now too.
Yeah, I think I've seen the prices go up. Price went up.
$50 a song. You like that?
Damn.
But I have to thank those people who fucked with me on the live streaming side of things, because when I lost that fucking $30,000+ a month that I lost from the demonetization thing, it was basically like, oh, then I started live streaming, and then that basically was able to sort of fill in much of the gap that I.
Was the live streaming always a plan, or did it just happen because of the demonetization and the Patreon not really doing a thing?
The live streaming thing really. I had known that I wanted to try it out, and I still toy with the idea of doing live interviews that are like doing an interview like this live, and then it just stays online.
You did Bill Ratchet, right? That was a live. That was a live.
Yeah, but then we took the file and edited it and put it out after. The thing with Joe Rogan, he does it live, and then it just stays online on YouTube afterwards like that, which is pretty cool. For us, we're not. I mean, I don't know what our precautions are about it necessarily, but.
Okay.
The fact that you can't mess with the file afterwards is just sort of freaks me out.
What I'm saying though is the live streaming idea
Right.
was it always baked into your head, or did
Yeah, I always knew I was going to do it, but then at the same time, once it became like, because at a certain point I was having meetings with all these people, like different people trying to lead me in the business into different directions, and I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, I just made 40 grand off of fucking making vlogs last month. So when people are trying to have these meetings with me, I'm like, I really don't care. And, then that sort of like evaporated with the demonetization stuff. And then it just sort of became like, okay, I need to actually like give every idea that people have thrown at me a fair chance. So a few of those things I jumped on in terms of like working with brands behind the scenes and everything. But then, I also... but there are weird things that, like, for a while, like, somebody was trying to get me to sign a contract to do a TV development thing, and I actually, like, fucking ended up signing a 6-month development deal, and luckily it lapsed, because now I actually have management, and now I actually have people who are, like, more in charge of my career who would be able to look at a contract like that development deal that luckily nothing happened with and be like, yo, don't do that. Like, that's a bad idea. So, like, that gives me a whole new level of confidence, to be honest. Like, just having, like, a team behind me now who are really, like they basically are like constantly in a state of interviewing me about where I want the business to go now. We've only been working together for maybe like a few weeks.
Nice. Was the can you shout him out or no?
Yeah, shout out to Score More Entertainment. It's this dude Sasha Stone, who basically he built like a huge touring promotion out of Texas, where he did the Illmore events during South by Southwest and everything, and then he also manages Trill Sammy and Tory Lanez.
Okay, so he kind of has the crossover between like media, rap.
And it's like a 17-person company out of Austin. So it's like, nice. I have people locally that I deal with that are helping me with how we're building No Jump Route and everything. But just having like that confidence of having them to be able to review deals that get thrown at me and stuff, it's very nice. Yeah. That's been a big change for me.
I came in, I sat in on the side, but for when Ice Poseidon, I didn't know who he was till he got here. And he was saying how he's like, I'm one of the CX, by the way.
CX gang, what up?
I'm one of the first 5 people to have a subscribe button on YouTube.
And I tried really hard to get it, and I couldn't get it.
And so do you still not have it?
I still don't have it.
That's crazy.
Nobody has it besides gamers, and then like for some reason, I guess he gets categorized as a gamer. But he really just live streams. That's like the basis of what he does. So I get how they made an exception for him, and I get why they wouldn't for me. But that would be huge.
The subscribe button.
Yeah, because it's like, for those who don't know, the subscribe button is something that's in beta that like Ice Poseidon has on like gamers, and it's basically for like people out there. You'd be able to click a button and choose to give me $5 a month, just if you were a huge fan of the site or whatever. I think it's a great idea.
I think also what it does on Twitch is it like it gets rid of the ads.
Right. There are a bunch of little benefits, and I don't know. I mean, YouTube's trying to figure it out. I probably will, like a year from now, be able to just be suggesting that people do it, but I understand that YouTube's taking the time rolling it out. But I mean, think about that. Like, we got 1 million subs. If you even got 1,000 or 2,000 people, then boom, 10 grand a month off 2,000 people, give me $5 a month. That's nice.
It's not bad. I forgot my I was like, I know my first question. When you hit 1 million subs and then Lena hits 1 million subs, I believe there was supposed to be some video delivery, something that was supposed to come out.
Sex tape, yeah.
And is it off the table?
Yeah, I mean, like, my feeling about it was like, okay, we made all these videos on your Snapchat that ended up on Pornhub and other sites. So
is she getting paid off of those?
No.
There has to be a company that can go make sure she does.
Okay, this is the thing. They want her. Fuck. If I sit here and explain it, then I'm probably going to end up doing it. All right. They want her, Pornhub. They want to give us a bunch of money, like, you know, a good amount of money that, you know, it's not a huge amount of money for me, but it is significant. And then I would make a real sex tape with her and maybe another girl, I think, and like, or whatever. But either way, we would make a sort of like real sex tape together. It could still be iPhone, whatever, but it would be a little bit more serious. It could still be POV, so I didn't have to necessarily show my body and stuff, which is one thing that I'm into. Nobody
wants to see that.
Nobody wants to watch me. They might want to be able to watch from my perspective, but so once she had made that first piece of real content, then I guess then her like snaps would be able to be on Pornhub and then still be monetized for her. So she asked me to do that recently.
Oh shit! So they're like holding that.
I mean,
because maybe
you have to
have
make an official model page in order to monetize any of that content, I guess. So like, I don't know. When I think about it, I probably should just do one last shebang and just make like the real sex tape with her. You know,
give it to the people. You know, the guys.
Yeah. She kind of like exposed me in the argument because she's like, oh, would you do like a Snapchat this weekend with me and this girl? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, do you want to do this Pornhub thing with just me and you? And I'm like, oh, babe, I feel like I'm like getting too big. I don't know if I necessarily want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, but you'll do it for my Snapchat with another girl. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is kind of logically inconsistent. But also I feel like now it's sort of getting weird in the sense that there's a lot of like possibilities that I could be working with bigger media companies and stuff. And I sort of feel like, oh, well, at a certain point, you know, the whole thing of me having videos online and me getting my dick sucked is going to matter.
Kim Kardashian, she got her dick sucked online, didn't matter.
Right, but she's a huge star.
Exactly. But like it's all king because of the sex tape. I mean, kind of. Like, you know,
and that's a weird thing.
It's really weird.
A weird thing for me.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't take my shirt off in public.
Right. Well, but that's a weird thing for me is that sometimes I think that I should never go get the kind of gig that I could easily lose if that company found out about my true personality, you know, in the sense where like a lot of people think like, oh, it'd be cool, I'm gonna go get this endorsement and, you know, Sprite's not gonna figure out that I used to do all this crazy shit online or whatever. But it's kind of like maybe I should just not go get some stupid endorsement in the first place if I think that they're gonna, you know, find out the real me. And,
you have a knife tattooed on your face.
I got a gun right there too.
Yeah, so I don't know if Sprite's really coming like, hey, you know.
Well, they got Vince Staples, but yeah, I guess he has a pretty comparatively clean image compared to the average rapper. Yeah, that's true.
And also, here's the thing: like, who's to say if you make your own media company? Who's to say you don't make the PG-rated version channel? You know what I'm saying? So, and that you're not in it because you don't want to like put, you know, a bad element in there. But, you know, you have some clean cut host or whatever, you know, some young dude making like...
Oh, that's a big part of like what the plan is with No Jumper is that like this will forever be what I do with No Jumper probably is that I do these podcasts and then at a certain, like we do the expose. So that's just the artist. There's no host on stage with him. And then at a certain point, we're going to like branch out into different contributors, different commentators, that kind of thing, so that, you know, No Jumper will feel like when you think about Complex, you think about all these different hosts on Complex News, blah, 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 and that they're all, you know, doing a good job. It's not, you don't think about Mark Echo when you think about Complex anymore.
Not at all. Right.
So
but
that's
also,
my challenge, is to get there eventually.
But also, that's kind of the problem. That's why when we sat, I always harken back to this one interview, but it was really good. It was fucking Adam LZ. And he's like, because that's a company and I'm a person, you know, and you always bridge the line between company and person, you know, so people know Adam and No Jumper synonymous, and it has a personality. People can actually like relate to a person, hear about it, like, but Complex, that's just a company. Fucking, there's a bunch of, we don't really know. They have personalities that come and go, but those guys aren't as married to the Complex brand as someone who started it, is founding it, and is the face of it, kind of thing.
But that's the hard thing to navigate, is that how do you like, because Complex does represent something. It represents like youth culture and, you know, whatever. Like, I'm not sure exactly what their mission statement is, but either way, I think that the thing that matters about No Jumper is that the idea of it, which is like a positive, culture focused hip hop lifestyle publication media company, like that idea is, and I've seen it like in my experience watching the effect that the content has on people. I feel like that idea is bigger than me. And like right now, it's one thing when you look at No Jumper and it's like, oh, it's all about this guy. It's all about this guy, and he's funny and he whatever. I believe that, you know, I'm probably always going to have a career as like some sort of entertainer, you know. But I feel like with No Jumper, it can be more than that. And I feel like that's like sort of the conversation that I've gotten used to having with a lot of these agencies and you know, the people who manage my shit now and stuff, is that, like, you know, I think a lot of people are starting to get that the more I talk about it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I hate what you're saying. I think that the way that these companies eventually kind of veer off path or go wrong is that, like, there's people running them that aren't connected to what they're talking about at all, and they're trying to think, okay, what would everyone think is cool, and then let's just try to do that. But they're not really showing you like the full access, where it's like you can watch a Nate Richter vlog or Chris Long walking around the store and live streaming and stuff like that, and be like, okay, I know what goes on camera, off camera, all around. Like, I'm fully immersed. And these guys aren't like, they're actually hanging out with the people they're talking to. They're actually talking about, you know, stuff they're like really living kind of it, in a sense, you know.
That's the little challenge with me, is that like as No Jumper grows, as it turns into something that is too big to just be on the back of a bike shop, you know, what will that look like, and how long do I need to stay completely close to it before I'm able to sort of let it breathe and take a step away from it? You gotta have like a
mandatory employee vlog clause every
but I'm not even into vlogging anymore. Like, to me, vlogging, I don't want No Jumper's image to be vlogging at all, and I haven't for a long time.
What I'm just saying is that, like, the full access and like the actual authenticity of it comes a lot because people can see, you know, inside, outside, all around. All the different side characters are all doing their own thing, and that's almost like.
But that's like the vlog world, and that to me is not a part of like No Jumper in the same way anymore, because, like, you know, if you want that side of things, you know, you can pay attention to social media, you can pay attention to like whatever's going on the vlog channel and everything like that. But that's not like.
But dude, let me ask you. Let me just ask you about this then. So like, it feels like that people, like, you know, Logan Paul did the biggest meet and greet in, you know, history in Dubai or some shit, and he's just a vlogger. And like, these vloggers, I think, are like almost looked at as like media companies that like are, you know, it's more focused on them. But like, there's some kind of fine line where, you know, you're obviously going to be a different kind of media company, but there's something there where it's like, this one's just different because there's more access. It feels more real. I can see more about it. Maybe it is produced content, you know, about every day in the office or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's any like I feel like, yeah, you could show stuff about the staff and everything, but it's just I feel like No Jumper like is about the content, and the content is quite often not going to be just based around like, oh, who are the people that are like hanging out there. It's really all about curation, and like, if anything, a lot of times the people who are here all the time aren't people that are ever going to appear on the No Jumper channel because they're not people who are getting interviews, or, you know, it's like, for me, that's like, to get a No Jumper interview still, like, it needs to be a challenge. It needs to be this like coveted thing. And I don't know, that really is what it's about. It's just like giving voice to the youth and stuff, and not so much just showing a bunch of, like, the vlogs are cool, but that's, you know, that's my personal social media. And that's very separate from No Jumper now in my mind.
I got you. I'm just thinking out loud, and I think that, like, when I look at the actual facts of what people are watching, the actual facts of which channels are growing the fastest, and how, like, one dude can have more subscribers and tons of more views than, like, one gigantic media company or whatever, and how things are shifting and changing or whatever. There has to be, I think there's some in between line, and I'm not sure if it's vlogging, is it? But like that this company or whatever can,
I think it's cool that Jake Paul made that like the basis of his whole brand, is that, oh, this is like a daily TV show. But, you know, I'm not really that committed to vlogging in that way, and like, I mean, that's just not.
It seems exhausting. I mean, it was exhausting. I did 56 vlogs.
It's just not cool either, because it's like there's a lot of situations that I don't want to vlog in, you know, constantly, and I just don't.
None of them.
Yeah, I just don't really. I mean, it's cool. It's still something I like. I vlog on my personal channel for one reason only, is just I like it, and so I don't feel any pressure to do it. I only do it because I want. I would like to not ever vlog again. It's just that I like feel like I want to.
Yeah, because you like the clout, and the vlogging brings the clout.
It's not that. I just like doing it because sometimes I have days where I just like. I feel like my day is so cool that I want to document what I was doing that day. And like, it doesn't have anything to do with money on the No Jumper channel. That's why it pisses me off when they demonetize my shit and they don't get any views. It's because the only reason I made it was for people to see it, because I thought it was cool. So it's like, it's not about the money at all, which is weird, because when I was a daily vlogger, it was 100% about the money.
I get what you're saying.
Not 100%, but it was very much about the money.
When they demonetize, they kill the audience that potentially could be watching it.
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like, at this point, like, No Jumper, it's kind of weird knowing like where it's going and knowing what it's turning into, and like a lot of that stuff is happening. Like a lot of our most popular content ever, like this month being the first full month in which we didn't have any vlog style content, was by far the biggest month ever for No Jumper.
For real?
Yeah, it was like 18 million views this month, and the most we ever did before that was like 10 million.
Yeah, so the Exposed series is great.
The Exposed shit is going crazy, and it's like, as we just like introduce more characters and stuff, I mean, that kind of it sort of becomes weird. Like, I paid a guy at a certain point to make like a trailer, like a really like fancy cool trailer, and he hung out a bunch of times while we were doing the podcast and stuff, and made this dope ass trailer basically explaining like No Jumpers, this podcast. And then like by the time we got done with it, I was like, fuck, like it's not a podcast to me anymore. Like, that's one part of what it is, but if I were to put this out, that's just going to further cement it in people's heads, like, oh, this is a podcast. And that's not really. I want it to just be like when I look at the media landscape in hip hop, that's my whole thing, is that I just don't see what the good stuff is. Like, I mention Complex a lot because I feel like they're one company that's doing stuff that I think is pretty good. I mention World Star a lot because I like them. But I mean, there's not many people in hip hop who are doing like good media company shit, and that to me is like that's what I've been obsessed with since I was a kid. It was just media companies and wanting to build the best ones. I did in BMX for 10 years. Never really got, you know, like did it, but like ultimately didn't really feel like the community was that thankful for what I did in terms of like creating, you know, the first BMX blog and stuff like that. But
well,
then,
yeah, I mean, and the community is tiny. Like, that only goes so far.
Oh, it feels insane when I look at it now. BMX has gotten so much smaller.
Well, that's the thing, is music the biggest medium in the world, in my opinion, most powerful, at least in terms of like reach and how it affects people and stuff. And I don't know what you've done at all to even look at worldwide stuff. Like, can you, like, is there someone's translating these videos in China on their own and trying to get them out there and stuff? You know, there's so much more to go with worldwide.
And we still haven't done the Facebook shit. Like, the Facebook shit is so big. Like, taking your content and chopping it up and like putting it on Facebook is so crazy in terms of like ability to change the audience. And I mean, if you look at the artists that we've interviewed too, it's like we haven't really done any like big rappers. We did rappers who became pretty big afterwards, but
right. I feel like there's rappers that everyone wanted, or that just kind of went past and just like did this thing, and strangely, you know, you had like it felt like for a time you had to be like right on the cusp of like right before you blow up, you do this, bam, like Yachty, bam, you know. Suicide Boys were already big, but it was like,
no, they weren't big when we did the interview though.
Oh, really? Okay, so
Not
yeah,
really.
so So there was just stuff where it's like, here they are, the tiny little core of like super hardcore fans knows about them. Interview, boom, and then people go, oh, that interview makes them huge or whatever, and it's like, no, like a bunch of different things line up together, and this thing definitely helped, you know. But why, you know? And then or the other interviews would be like, once it got big enough, it'd be like guy who's had his career peak and now is like, you know, in his kind of twilight years, but he's still fucking cool as hell, and like we're doing the interviews of like super established older dudes who are like running businesses now. But like, how do you get 21 Savage?
Yeah, but now I don't even really think of like, well, number one, I was really trying to get a 21 Savage interview when he had like no clout, when he was doing a show in LA to like 50 people.
But yeah, but why didn't, you know, that's weird, right? So why wouldn't he, you know?
At that time, I think he just didn't know what it was. Nowadays, like now, given how big it is, like I know rappers who are like, you know, something akin to what 21 Savage was at the time, and they very much want interviews. You know, that's not something I really worry about. And even then, like my management, like I will tell them, like they made me make a list of the top 10 rappers that I want to interview, and they were like, okay, well, like helping me put together like plans of how we were going to get each one of them, and we're going to do this sort of thing because this person is incentivized in this way and type shit. And like, you know, like my management's involved with like we're working with festivals and everything now, so it's like, you know, some of these festivals, these artists want to be on these festivals, so they're kind of using that even as like leverage, like, okay, well, maybe we can help you get on this festival, but we're going to need you to do this, you know, jumper thing, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I mean, that stuff is like fully. It was weird for them to even be like, what's your top 10, or like, who do you really want? Because I'm like sitting there writing down like, you know, Juicy J, Gucci Mane, Chief Keef, Lil Wayne, like, you know, and like, but now that doesn't seem, none of that seems that intimidating to me anymore, because, you know, I've just done so many big interviews at a certain point, it sort of becomes like, what are you scared of, you know?
Yeah, but those guys you all just mentioned are, you know, some would argue like not at like their prime, like, you know, the total saturation, right?
But they're all important because they are very, very influential on my world.
I know. That's a personal
world.
goal, but I'm saying that like, could there be a world, and is there a world where it's like someone at their like absolute prime, like full saturation, they're on like 4 or 5 songs on the radio, whatever, it's like comes in.
See, that's a weird thing too, because I feel like if I were to meet Drake in a casual scenario, that he would get it. They're like, oh, this is the interview I should do, you know? And it's like just sort of. I do get it though at the same time that like my shit is still so new and you know, I get it that Drake, it doesn't seem like an emergency.
What's the smallest thing? Yeah, and then you also look at like what's the smallest thing Drake has done, or the strangest like, you know, thing he's done, you know, after his maybe second or third album came out or whatever, you know, but, if anything.
But at the same time, like I'm not really like thirsty for that look either, because I've always just wanted to grow gradually, and like, you know, like I would go out of my way to do that, but I'm not gonna like really chase after it.
Yeah, and those guys, like, I mean, he just has more to lose than gain by coming on here, you know?
Exactly. And I was weird shit, like I was in the studio all fucking Friday night with fucking all the OVO producers and shit, and like, I mean, I don't know, I just feel like I'm getting so much closer to that world.
Right.
And over time, it's like, I'm getting big enough that it's like there are less and less people that I can really truly like bring up, because
here's the important and strange thing about Los Angeles and those kind of going for those big shots in general is like, what's more beneficial to you in the long run? One Drake interview where you hound him a little bit and he comes on here and he does it, whatever, or like naturally meeting Drake in the studio, becoming kind of friends with him, getting his number, and like getting the information or new artist or cooler shit or whatever, you know, like everyone has this crazy idea in their head, like, oh, if I can meet that, you know, celeb, maybe I'll be friends with him or whatever, you know. For me, it's Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy, what up?
Also, it's like, I was in the studio with fucking Murda Beats on Friday, and it's like, to me, Murda Beats is like, that's the interview I want to do on No Jumper, because he's so fire, and he's so new, and he's so cool, and yes, Drake is cool as fuck, but Drake is cool enough that he knows that Murda Beats is who should be fucking making the shit for his album. So to me, it's like, I would do the Drake one, but I would go more out of my way to get a Murda Beats interview, because to me, it's more on the cusp.
That's great, and that's also like, that shows that, you know, you're not like just only motivated by what's going to do the most views in a sense, but there is still that part where it's like this one's going to do views, you know, and like there's the what does 22 want, and what do like the No Jumper fan base want, and sometimes a lot of times they overlap, you know.
Yeah, like I do want to make them happy and everything, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like I really, really want to get the Ski Mask interview done right now, because that's just like, my fans have wanted that forever. I fuck with him really tough. I believe he's probably one of the greatest rap prospects of the No Jumper era. So, you know,
what's the hold up there?
He's just when he's around, he's all over the place. I'm all over the place. It's hard for me to like force myself to hound him too.
Yeah, he's like in Sweden with Cole right now.
Is he?
Yeah, so just hit up Cole.
Cole Benningham in Sweden?
Yeah.
Damn, I had no idea.
Cole's doing a whole big thing, by the way. Huge shout out to Lyrical Lemonade for like getting the office space and having the whole thing in Chicago, whatever, you know. So like he's really
we're doing that soon too. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like there's some synergies there. It's not like competition. It's like you guys don't shoot music videos yet.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it's like Cole, me, Cuff Boys, Academics, fucking even like a weird. Well, Academics is sort of like a weird offspring from that, but like even like Anthony Fantano. It's like there's a whole crop of like music related, hip hop related YouTubers that all sort of sprouted up around the same time, you know, or in the same time, but have sort of like risen to prominence around the same time, and it's sort of been bizarre watching that unfold, and to even be like at sort of the helm of it in some ways, or be one of the more popular participants and everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what Cole has planned, but yeah, I mean, that's been unbelievable because he's legitimately breaking artists now.
Yeah, it's dope.
He broke Lil Xan, which is just unbelievable.
The funniest thing about that is that I introduced him to Lil Xan, and I have it on film.
Really? In the vlog?
In the vlog, yeah. I didn't even. I went back and I watched it. I was like, oh my god, that was the first night they met, because I was sitting there with Stephen Can and Lil Xan, and Cole was texting me, and they're like, you know Cole Bennett? And I was like, yeah, he's just a guy. I didn't really understand what's ever. And he's like, they're like, oh my god. And I was like, you want him to come over? And they're like, oh my god, yeah. And they were like so excited, and it was just the first time they linked or whatever. So I was like, that was like my one Yams moment.
That's crazy. Who brought them together?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think, oh God, some of the stuff that gets captured in vlogs is like insane. Like
it really is. Like
the Lil Peep shit is like I predicted his death right out in there. Like,
no.
Yeah, I said like because he had the little Peep, the little pink bunny thing, and he like put it up on the shelf, and I said like, oh, it's like a memorial for Peep, but he's not dead yet, but he's working on it, and he just looks me right in the fucking eyes and just goes like, I'm already dead.
Dude,
and it's in the vlog, and it's gotten so many views since he passed because people were like freaked out by it.
Someone went back to one interview where I was talking about, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like Peep and Too Poor, like Kurt and Courtney, and I was like, but don't die, Peep, like we need you or whatever." Ugh. But the thing is like, if someone starts abusing drugs or whatever, like there's that possibility, But the weird thing is that like of the people that I was always most that I've met, that I've been the most concerned about, it was like Slug Christ is at the top of the list by far. Yeah. So that's why I was so like, oh shit, like Peep died. Like I didn't really see that coming, and it was just really sad.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Peep is that like, okay, you go and listen to his music after he dies, and his music's all about dying and doing drugs and partying.
Yeah,
it's like,
but he didn't kill himself, and he didn't like actively, from what I heard, didn't like actively go out and like mix shit and OD.
No, yeah. He didn't want to die.
Right.
But he very much like knew that he was living in a way in which it wasn't going to be that out of the ordinary for those circumstances to come about,
Yeah, that's fucking, because he had so much potential with like kind of how he was like breaking down genres. Like, remember, like, I mean, like when you first told me about him, like with pretty much everybody and shit, and like he was like Schema Posse, and like he was wearing like Ugg boots and like a rapper and all that shit, and it was just like,
that was when he first started getting weird, because before he was with Schema Posse, his image was like more dark. Like there's a video Come Around, which is the one where he's like doing like a ton of coke in this hotel room and stuff, and that was like before Beamer Boy, before California Girls, and like before all these like poppy like fun songs. He had this like incredibly dark stuff, and that's how I got introduced to him, which was like, and then when I saw him go in a direction that where he was like sampling Death Cab and everything, all of a sudden I was like, that's it, like, because I didn't really think the super dark stuff was gonna like make him super popular, even though I like saw the artistic merit in it.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's like one of those guys who came up in this kind of scene, but then was set to go way on past it into totally different, like weird, like unexplored territory, and like got the credibility with the Pitchfork, like top 100 songs of the year, and like everyone was kind of like looking at him and stuff. And it's just like, it's super sad to lose that kind of talent and dude.
Yeah, because it just feels fucked up, because it's like I tell the story all the time about just dudes who I met when they were nobody, and then they're huge. I love saying that about like a lot of different dudes who are popular right now. But then with the Peep thing, it was like, oh, okay, that's the other version of this story, or this is the long-term version of that story. Is they explode and then they burn out right away. And I mean, it was just, ugh, it was tough to take. I wish that I wasn't so fucking stoned when I did the New York Times interview about it.
Oh shit! So they hit you up and they hit up Masked Gorilla.
Yeah.
And you guys were just talking about.
But the same exact people that they interviewed there was like a SoundCloud rap type article that was early on.
Yeah.
And then I think it was supposed to be like themed around Pump and Perp. But then I think the New York Times realized how fucked up they are or were.
That scared me.
Oh yeah, what's up, Cat? I think the Times realized how fucked up Pump and Perp are. Not fucked up, but they are out of their minds. And like the violence on that tour and everything. And I feel like they kind of fell back and they made the article more about Peep. And then when Peep died, it was like more, they like came right back to the same people they interviewed for the same thing with me and Roger for the podcast.
No tapping the table, by the way.
You could do that now.
I'm not fucking with you.
You know the Cat had a $2,500 dental surgery today?
That's true love. And also like kind of baller status cemented.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, so it had just had a sore tooth.
I mean, I've dropped him off to just get his like flea shots and everything, and then all of a sudden the lady's like, "Oh, he also has this like crazy tooth issue, and it's like it's gonna keep getting worse and worse, or you could pay this amount of money." And I'm like, "All right, well, fuck it, why not?"
You're gonna get it taxidermied when it, heaven forbid.
Yeah, when Tony dies, I do think I would probably want to get him stuffed and mounted somewhere. I just want to do something to like cement his legacy.
I think what they do, I know with fish, they just make a recreation of it. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like they don't like use the body. You know,
but that's my issue with the Cat and like even drawings of him. I've had people draw him many times, and I feel like they don't really capture his.
Because you're too close to it.
I'm
you
so
love
close
too
to
much.
it. Yeah,
I love him too much.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. That when I think about it, that's one of the craziest things when I was watching that interview from like over a year ago is that I really didn't have like the same financial security that I have now, which made me, I think, a lot less sure of myself in a way at that time. You know, because I just didn't really know like financially like what the fucking future of No Jumper was, and now it's just like now I turn down crazy amounts of money.
It didn't seem like No Jumper was for the money. It seemed.
No,
I
but
mean,
now
you just got a motor, you try stuff or whatever. But yeah, I think there was. I don't know, like there was like probably some stuff with the bike shop or whatever that was going on, like business wise or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, the shop is like, you know, it's a BMX shop. It's in a really busy area. It's not ever going to be something that makes like a crazy amount of money. So it's kind of like No Jumper just sort of like emerged as this thing that was like all of a sudden just like way bigger out of the back of the shop than what we were doing out of the front of it. So all of a sudden now I'm like, I mean, that's why we moved. That's a big part of it is that we were downtown for that interview, and now we're here. I mean, part of the reason why we're here is because No Jumper was able to pay for the move and new spot and everything.
Fuck. There was a fucking fuck.
Who hired this guy?
Yeah, I know exactly. I just got distracted by like an email, and I was trying.
Yeah,
to think what the
notice
email
that's such
was.
like how do you have your phone on the table? I would never. Look at me. Where's my phone? My phone's against the wall.
I think I'm like a fairly good listener. Maybe too good.
Yeah.
But my friend was trying to tell me like, you know how you like someone's talking to you and you're just like looking around thinking about other shit. I'm like, no, I'm normally like locked in listening to that person.
Well, I noticed you having that conversation with Nate and you're like asking him about his car and stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how could you ever remember what somebody got a car like a few months ago or whatever? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I like cars. And Nate was like really pumped, and that was our last conversation. It just went
that's
right
really
back
nice
to
of you. Yeah, you know what stood out to me the other day? I got an MRI for my back, and like I'm in the waiting room, and there's like this Russian guy. He starts trying to talk to me. He gave it like 2 solid efforts to try to make conversation with me, and I just both times was like, yeah. And I was just thinking after, I'm like, that's like my job is to have conversations with people, and in that moment, there's nothing I would have rather not done than talk to some random guy there.
We don't talk outside of like sitting right here normally, you know, unless we're like at a party or something. But it's just like it's just easier to like, okay, I have to have this conversation, and now I'm trying to expand my mind a little bit and think about different shit or whatever.
I don't have a lot of small talk in general. That's my issue.
Yeah, but here, let me ask you a question, because this is again I with Nate. I know Nate. I'm locked in. it's just locked, whatever.
Right.
But there's guys I meet 6 times, still don't know their name.
All the
And
time.
I don't know what the
My
fuck.
whole life.
I don't know. Is it the guy? Is it that guy? Why am I not locking in that guy?
You can
know what I'm
only
saying?
memorize like 200 people's like identities
They say
or
like
something.
150.
supposedly.
Yeah, they say like you have a room for 150 and like
I was giving myself 200, assuming that maybe I could do 200 because I meet a lot of people. But yeah, like that's a crazy small number. Like I mean,
how many people have you pushed out to get those new guys in?
I mean, I get many, like, and that's another thing too. I used to be able to look at my DMs. I don't barely even look at my DMs anymore because I just don't even, like, there's too many now on Instagram.
And yeah, if you start DMing with somebody and then you're like friendly or whatever,
Oh yeah.
then they see you out and they're like, you don't fucking know who I am. We exchanged
that's
5
so
DMs.
true.
You're like, what?
But I'm
Like,
talking about you even like, you know, you talk to a girl and it's like, my DMs are just fucked now. That's like, it's really, like, I had 40K a year ago and now I got 500,000. That seems like a huge, like, I'm never going to be, a year from now, I'm not going to be 10 times more popular than I am right now. That's one thing I think is kind of crazy about all this is that however, like, huge this, like, growth of the whole thing has been, that it's not sustainable.
right. And then you don't necessarily want it to be that sustainable. Like you want to like, you know, you want to kind of get to a thing where it's like, okay, this is the huge core audience I got and they're into it. And then they spread it from there or whatever. Because yeah, it is funny to think like, how do these certain things or certain people to get a certain amount of views or whatever, and all, like, what's the biggest like this one thing can go? And I think you're kind of realistic with yourself and thinking like, maybe 1 million, maybe 2 is the biggest, and you know, how does it plateau or level or whatever? You know,
Yeah, I guess like you always want to keep challenging yourself, and that's sort of I don't know. That's like the weird thing I'm realizing like lately, like doing, you know. You just always want to find something to challenge yourself, and then the sort of you wonder like what's that's going to be at a certain point, because sometimes even though I know I haven't done even close to all that I could do in the rap world, I already start to feel like, you know, maybe, you know, is this still interesting to me?
maybe this is it. Yeah,
It still is interesting, but I just don't think that I can keep doing it past the point where it ceases to be interesting to me, which is sort of hard to.
Yeah, like you got to have a goal and a vision, but you got to be kind of willing to pivot based on your own personal passion. If you're going to be a business owner, I think, you know, like.
Yeah. But I don't know what I could really care about more than I care about like rap, pretty much, because I don't really feel like there's. I'm not sure what else I would really be that interested in.
Well, I mean, there's just different routes. There's different like things in the rap that, you know, you could switch to.
But at the end of the day, you know, I think that like my addiction that caused No Jumper to come about in the first place was my addiction to like making moments and like creating content that was so important that people had to sort of flock to it in a way. And I think that in a way, that's why the rap thing ended up seeming so much more appealing than the BMX thing, is just because it was so much bigger and it's just so much more of an audience you could potentially hit. Like, you know, I heard Academic say the other day when he did the Tekashi interview, he's just like, you know, this is like why I like this, is like just to create a moment. And it's like, yeah, like if you go and get the interview with the rapper who's been accused of a big crime and then he talks about why he didn't do it or whatever, I mean, boom, you got that moment. Like you were a part of that little moment in history. Or like even the Boot Gang interview that I just did where he fucking is talking about he's sober and stuff, which nobody in a million years would have expected. I just like, as soon as I got done that interview, I was like, oh my God, I just like bottled this amazing moment in time that people are going to probably be talking about or remember for a really long time. And at the end of the day, like that's kind of the weird thing, is like, what could I go and do outside of rap that I'd be genuinely interested in that would have as big of a societal impact? I don't think that I really could.
Yeah, there's stuff you haven't thought of that's out there. I'm just saying that, like, you know, that I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think that a lot of what I'm interested in too is always like a number of like 3 or 4 things combined, and one of them definitely is like, everyone likes to be right, and like also everyone likes to kind of think they have good taste, or at least knows what's going to be what. So always trying to predict like what's going to be hot next, you know? Or like, I think this is going to go, this is going to go, this is going to go, and then all of a sudden it goes and you're like, see, you know? And so that's good. And then there's also the part where you're like able to monetize that or help develop, grow, and nurture it, where it was like I was in artist management and we were like working with pop singers. That was fun, you know. I think there's definitely a world in which I get back into artist management at some point.
That's definitely one thing I realized I'm never going to do is manage artists or work directly with artists like that.
But it would have to be like now, like when I was 22, it was like, what's your vision? Like, let's go execute. And now if I get with an artist and like they really want me to work with me, you know, I'm not saying anyone does, but it's going to be like, we're working on this shit together, and you're going to listen to what I'm saying. And like, you need to take my advice because I've seen this and this and like done these different things that could actually help, and we're gonna go out after it together, kind of thing.
But when I say that, like, what dictates like what I want to do is like societal impact. That's why I can't just go focus on one artist. Like I've had very, very big artists try to be like, oh, like manage me, and it's like I can't put all my eggs in one basket with one person. You know, that's why the media company thing appeals to me, is because I'm able to sort of like constantly like pivot into like doing content with different artists and different genres, and like that's kind of the thing like that could make No Jumper like bigger than any other like outlet. By the way, the cat just banged my leg. It felt really good. It's just because, you know, we do like dabble in other genres and like find ways to make other genres seem cool and palatable to our audience, like we're doing the EDM stuff before and stuff. So I'm kind of like optimistic about all that too. But
yeah, I think that's admirable, because you could also just be like, yeah, I'll manage you, and then just get somebody else to do all the work and act like, you know, you're doing shit or whatever. And there's a lot of bad managers out there, and it's like,
if I was more employees, then that is the kind of thing that might happen over time, you know.
if I ever like got back involved in something, like I go full in, you know. So I'd be like, we need to go all in, like I'm only working with this person, like this is the main client, let's just fucking go for it, you know, kind of thing. Because there's some people who can't commit, or they're wishy-washy, or they're like, I'll get 6 different things and see which one goes, and then we'll go with that one. It's like, no, I think this is going, and like, let's go for it, you know?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I was just reading about somebody who, in the rap media, who left and went to work at a label, and I was just thinking, I'm like, I'm not sure what the way to like justify that in my head would be if I was to make that transition, because to me, it's like I judge myself based on how much I'm affecting the culture, and to me, it's like you could never affect it so much with one artist as you could from doing the media company side of things. But I guess if you really believed in an artist that much, then you might want to. Or I guess with a label thing, you have like a bunch of artists that you're working with. But
yeah, but it's like once you get a bunch of artists and you dilute kind of like the focus on one or whatever, then all of a sudden it's, again, which one's doing well right now? Let's chase that one. This one's doing well. Let's chase that one. Oh, sorry. Well, no, we'll call you back, and like keeping people on hold or whatever.
And I like working with labels. Some of the like people I know from labels are like my favorite people to talk about music with, because, you know, they just do it for a living. They know a lot about music and stuff. It's hard for me to talk. Like that's kind of been the weird thing, is it's like it's hard for me to have a normal conversation about rap now with a regular person, because like I had some guy who worked for Gary Vee say like, he's like, who's like the next up and coming rapper? And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, I could think of a lot of rappers that you haven't heard of that to me are already played out.
Right.
You know, like I could.
You mean like 5,000 followers or 20,000 followers?
I could think of rappers that I have found out about 2 weeks ago that like, but if somebody were to walk into this room and be like, yo, have you guys heard of YB and Namir? We'd be like, oh my God, get the fuck out of here. But to this guy, if I told him about YB and Namir, he'd be like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna check it out, you know?
Yeah. And that's kind of the beauty, and that's not only the beauty, but also like the mentality you must have when you are working with someone like that, or working with some kind of thing that you intend to like go worldwide or get, you know, like if we looked at it worldwide, nobody knows about No Jumper. There's so much room for growth worldwide. Like, and if you only think about America or whatever in terms of
5,000th most subscribed YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Close.
So nobody. No, it's fucking it's nothing. You know, it's got so much room for growth. Is what I'm saying, and it's a good thing. That's a positive thing, and you can't ever think of like, that's when people start coasting or like, oh, everyone knows about him or whatever. And that's the thing with like YB and Namir, like if you're telling someone else about him, like you can't necessarily assume that obviously everyone knows about him, whatever it is.
That's the crazy thing about him, though, is that he represents why I'm so addicted to doing rap content, is because every couple months there's a new YB and Namir or a new Lil Xan or a new somebody exciting to do content with, you know, and that is what kind of keeps it interesting.
Some of them just keep like have this motoring or have these like this string of hits or whatever.
Right. Like, we don't know if Lil Xan's going to matter in a year. Like maybe people just decide they don't like him anymore. But, you know, like that interview at that point in time, people went crazy for a reason, and that's just like that's what I'm fucking hooked on, you know.
Yeah, capturing the moment. Like his story is so weird. I mean, we should do the full interview with him.
It's definitely happening.
It is so strange, because it was like Instagram kept getting hacked and kept getting hacked and kept getting hacked. And then I think like Instagram wanted to like apologize to him. They kept putting him on the popular page or something like that. And his like just numbers went crazy. I've never seen anything else like it. I know the Cole video.
Yeah, it was all the Cole video.
But I'm saying that like I don't know. I think there was some other shit too with like the
It was all Cole video, I think.
All right, well,
I mean I've never heard any other theory suggested that the popular page was being manipulated or anything.
Not manipulated. Like
I get what you're trying to say. I'm just saying that it was all that video. Oh yeah, they got to protect him. I mean, how do they not protect him? How does he not have the Lil Xan name? It's insane that he still has that fucking clunky ass username.
Yeah. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, this is the thing about like what people know and what they don't know in worlds. Like people can just live in their own bubbles in a sense, and it's like what things will cross all the bubbles besides like maybe the biggest pop star, the biggest rap star, and the biggest politician, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's in this like, you know, increasingly curated like your own feeds and all that shit kind of world. Like how do you become like one of those things that spreads out amongst, you know, the fucking world? I don't know. It's just like, and it's very interesting like to go to somebody and you can say like FaZe Bank's their person, like, is that a bank? Is that like a Chase Bank? And you could say it to somebody else and they'll have like 25 minutes of like thoughts and whatever it might be, you know? And it's like, it's pretty much either like, I know about it, I've seen the bunch, or I like never heard of it, you know, and I don't know.
And, you know, that's the weird thing about it to me too, though, is that on one hand, I'm the kind, and this is just like why I'm an asshole, is that on one hand, Lena will like, not know who YBN Namir is, for example. I mean, she does know who he is, but like, you know, she would bring him up, and like, if she would ask me right now, like, who's YBN Namir, I'd be like, oh god, like, you know, I would tell her, but I would also be a little annoyed that I had to explain who he was, because to me, I've known about him for a couple months. It seems obvious, but at the same time, is that like she knows all these actors and all these different musicians from different walks of life, and she will mention, you know, some actor who has millions of followers and he's actually like very, very famous, and I have no fucking clue. And my attitude is like why would you even ask me about something so asinine? Like how like because I really genuinely don't care. So it's weird that, like, to me, like, an actor, like, somebody bringing up movies is, like, insane. Like, why are you bringing that up? Like, nobody knows about that shit. But then if somebody doesn't know about YBN Namir, that stands out to me as very, very strange, which I realize is totally ludicrous. But, I mean, that's just kind of...
Speaking of ludicrous, he's an actor and a rapper. There's the crossover. Yeah. That's the one guy.
There's others.
I know. No, I totally hear what you're saying. And it's funny because, like, I'll dabble around Netflix. I got a girlfriend, so I'm like, Netflix is a big part of my life. And I realized too, like, having a girlfriend and, like, you know, being faithful to her means that, like, a huge chunk of my brain that was like trying to keep track of, like, I'm flirting with that girl, I know this girl, I met this girl out or whatever, is just now dedicated to, like, business. You know, it's easy. Like, freed up a lot of those 150 spots or whatever. It's like, hey, let's go do more business shit and do more lunches or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy when I'm just like watching.
I'm trying to do less lunches.
I'm watching like Riverdale or some shit, and I'm like, oh, this girl's attractive, and then I like look her up on Instagram, and it's like, oh, 6 million, and she's dating Travis Mills or some shit. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? How did that? What, you know? Like,
how do these people exist? Yeah,
yeah. Like, there's those guys who are just like, and I think it's a lot now in the DMs, really, like, where it's like, oh shit, this guy followed me and I followed him, and we DM'd, where it used to be like our agent set up a lunch or whatever, you know, like back in the day. But it's funny to see these crossovers that didn't really make sense. You know,
that happens to me all the time, where I'll be in a room full of dudes and they'll all be talking about some Instagram model, and I'll be like, well, I don't fucking know, because I really don't look at famous bitches on Instagram. Like, I refuse to do so because it'll make me feel bad about myself.
Well, yeah, if you thirst follow, and that can really bring your day down, you know. It's
two kinds of guys on earth: guys who follow famous bitches and guys who don't. So just be the kind who doesn't, because you don't want to be the one feeding into that problem societally.
It is funny. It's funny to be like, you know, someone's like, oh my god, a new picture of Emrata is up, and then I go to it.
Who?
Emily Ratajkowski. She was in the Robin Thicke video.
I do know
and
who
like,
she is.
And
yes.
I go to that picture, and it shows me like my two horny friends who have liked the picture, and I'm just like laughing my ass off, because it's like, I know that they know that they're never like it's not going to work that way, but they're like what's the harm in like double clicking? Maybe she'll look through
There
her
is
likes.
harm. You're allowing yourself to look at women that you're never going to be able to sleep with every single day. For what reason?
I think there's harm too because other girls will see your likes and be like, okay, this guy's fucking just horned out.
I just don't understand why anybody would want to see that every day, and I don't understand why they would want the world to see them liking it. It's just strange to me.
I have like fatigue. Like I'm probably done clicking shit. I want to do like a no like November, even though it's December. Like
I feel the complete opposite. I'm liking up a star, I'm commenting, I'm engaging with Instagram, I'm doing whatever it takes to get to 1 million.
Yeah. See, okay, I get that. I guess maybe.
So you're talking about like, oh, I'm motivated to do more business. Where else does more business take place than Instagram?
That's an interesting, good point, and whatever. But again, like I just feel like I'm just tired of it. Like looking at the numbers and seeing it. Okay, it went up a little bit, or okay, this one did this number or whatever. It's just like fucking. It's all the same shit. Just fucking. Instagram is boring. I mean, I think you can agree with me. Instagram is very boring.
I think you're burnt out. I think you sound like a guy who's had a girlfriend for a year.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe when you open up Instagram and you are single, you're like, there's a world of possibilities out there. Let's go to Emrato's thing. Hey, great photo. Click comment. Maybe we got it.
No, I maintain that is terrible. But, I mean, yeah, in some way, don't you think that, like, once you sort of find your place, you're like, okay, this is my job. I'm going to stick with this job. This is who my person that I'm going to have sex with for the rest of my life. Does that close you off in some way? Or, I mean, you're talking about sitting around and watching Netflix like it's all good. Like, to me, that's a sign of depression.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess because
it's like you're choosing to spend a huge portion of your life on something that has no value, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. But then, like, you know, I'm not doing this at noon on a Tuesday, you know?
Right.
And it's like...
But don't you think 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. on a Tuesday is valuable too?
Yeah, and I should be going harder. That's a good motivational thing. That,
I mean, to me, I just don't understand what... Like, dude, I watched one season of Game of Thrones with Lena.
But so
it's tough.
Is everything you think you're doing basically research for this job? Yeah. And that's fine, and that's totally fair. And
I try to chill. I tried to watch that one season of Game of Thrones. It was like torture.
I'm doing like a freelance job right now where I got to help find a licensed music for a commercial, right? So I'm like during the day, you know, deep into like music research and like, you know, finding similar artists and just going as deep as possible. And then, like, you know, I feel like I can take some me time at night and watch some shit that, like, you know, is more fantasy or whatever. If you don't like fantasy and you don't fuck with Game of Thrones, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that I could like that. I wish I knew what that was like to
Too practical. Yeah, too practical.
I just don't really, yeah. And the TV thing, like, I mean, there used to be TV shows I liked. I don't know what happened to that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess then, like, so you smoke a blunt and unwind and watch some more rap videos and vlogs you like and just kind of stay up on current events in terms of you know, the scene.
I'm more into news. I'm very into music. I would watch like a documentary.
Yes, I watch a ton of docs. That's like me and my girl's thing is like we like to get deep into docs and it's fun. And we definitely have like deep conversations about them afterwards and stuff.
So I feel like I need to get like my home entertainment center type setup better because I just moved into this new apartment. You know, we're getting couches this week, and we're gonna because that's like my goal is to sort of like establish like a better entertainment center in my living room, so that like when it comes down to like watching a TV show or something, maybe that would make me more into it. Maybe I'd be able to, because I feel like that's something that's kind of keeping me from being able to connect to people is like not being able to watch movies or TV really.
Yeah, see, that's another thing is that like if you have that common ground, like if people like rap music, they're obviously going to be in just talking or whatever. But
and now I've gotten to the point where even like, because somebody who knows about who YB and Namir is in late 2017 is somebody who knows quite a bit about rap music. And I just described how I don't feel like I could even have a conversation with that person because I'm in so deep that it's like, who are my peers that also know about, and I know who they are. They're like, you know, 17-year-old kids in Harlem and shit. But
yeah, interesting. So I guess is there ever a time that you're watching something for pure enjoyment and not considering it research or work? You know, or like
I don't draw a line between work and play. I've never been able to do that. It's never, you know, like. Are
you the kind of guy who's like, are you blowing up your employees at like midnight, like texting people like, hey, fucking clean the shit or whatever?
Sometimes, but I'm also not really like clean this shit. Like I don't really.
I guess
what
I
am
mean
gonna tell
like,
him
do
to
you
clean?
ever like, do you have any hesitation at all about texting an employee on the weekend at midnight with some work type shit that you're gonna need done the next day, just because you remembered at that
I would
moment?
never think that is the weekend. It would never even occur to me. But also, I don't think Kim would ever think of that either. So it's not even like
So yeah, you guys.
Alfredo would never like if Alfredo hit me up and I was like, it's Saturday, he'd be like, what? Like, I mean, I've never worked for anybody besides myself, pretty much, so I can't really imagine what that would be like to be like, it's Saturday, like fucking yeah, it's Saturday. It's just
Yeah, but
another
I'm
day.
saying like Alfredo, an owner, like Kim, she's a hustler, like you're an owner. But there are employees that like have days off and shit, and like, you know, do you ever think about like?
I would probably just hit the group chat. I mean, like, what am I going to ask them to do? And like, you know, if I hit the group chat, I'd be like, who's in the store right now? Can you clean the fucking cat thing or something? You know,
Just curious, just curious.
I would say that, but I wouldn't like put it on one person. I feel like
I guess
I'm pretty
what
good.
I'm saying is that like, you know, right now I'm like working like kind of freelance. It's kind of like 9 to 5 ish though. So like I kind of do have a weekend, or I can turn my brain off and I can just be like totally zoned out or totally present, like talking to my girl or like helping her with her shit and all that stuff, or, you know, just being there in a sense, which is nice, you know. But it's like when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, it's like you never stop thinking about it. You never,
Yeah, I
you
don't
even
really
differentiate.
I don't think about life that way. Then, like, as in, like, oh, you know, I did my good Monday through Friday, and now I got Saturday. I can just relax. Like, if I were to take Saturday and relax, it's like I want to like proactively go out of my way to relax on that day, so I still feel like I'm like getting something done. Like I had that experience like recently where I worked so fucking hard Monday through Friday, and then all of a sudden Saturday rolled around. And it's like all of a sudden I just found myself like rolling out of bed at noon, and I'm like smoking a blunt, watching some YouTube videos. All of a sudden it's like 2 p.m. and I just was like, fuck, like I gotta go to the store now. I get to the store, it's like 3:30. I just felt like I wasted the day because it's like Monday through Friday we're structured. I had shit to do. I'm turning down meetings and stuff because I fucking had so much stuff to do. I'm like, you know, and I can't meet up with you, like pissing people off and stuff. Then Saturday rolls around, I got nothing to do, and I just felt lost. I felt like weird. Like, I wish that I had taken that Saturday and been like, all right, if you're not going to do anything all day Saturday, you should, like, at least go out of your way to, like, actually do some, like, if you're going to relax Saturday, you should do some things that are actually relaxing. You should go to the beach or, like, you know, actually exercise or actually, you know, make, you know, if you're going to sleep in, that's good, but you should do that. You know, I don't really like to,
When
like.
was your last vacation? Was it basically like Thanksgiving last year with your family?
Yeah, like I go on vacation Saturday for like 6 days, and then with Lena and my parents, and then
Where are you guys going?
Florida is like I always go to the same place because I have relatives out there. But I was just in Miami for 2 days, like a day and a half.
I'm going to the Bahamas in 2 weeks.
Bahamas.
Yeah, my friend's got like he's got a private plane. Not a private plane, like a private plane, like a kind of like, you know, propeller shit, you know?
Right.
And he just gets down there, and then we're vlogging it for sure.
You're going with your girl, I'm assuming?
No, she's like got some family stuff. It's just the family. We're good. Like, don't worry about it.
But what like you and your bros hanging out like in the Bahamas, like what do you think that you would do? Because
see, I think I see where you're going, but it's like just take it easy, live the island lifestyle. Maybe fish, maybe lay on the beach, maybe drink a margarita.
no, that does sound pretty
You
good.
know, it's like it's gonna be like one night down there or whatever, and just like more of the adventure and like
one night
vlogging
sounds
it.
good. Yeah, I could do that 2 nights. You give me a week and a half of that, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know,
Right.
how many margaritas am I supposed to drink? No, that's kind of something that stood out to me about what the fuck was I gonna say? I forget. But
No, it's interesting hearing you talk about like not differentiating between work and not work in a sense, and like
at a certain point, I sort of started to envision my own life. Like I'm talking maybe like 5 years ago. I was like, you know, you have all these. This is me talking to myself. I was thinking, you have all these things you want to accomplish in your life, and a lot of times you wake up and you sort of are in a routine. You know, like you go to the gym, you got to get groceries, and a lot of those things that I had sort of built up into my routine were basically just things that were like preventing me from accomplishing my long-term goals. Like, you know, a lot of times you build up all these little things that you're doing that keep you busy, that distract you from the fact that you have this one giant goal that is so much bigger than everything else. And if you were to just focus on that and like chipping away at that, and like for me, that was building No Jumper and like the podcast and everything, is I had been putting all that aside to instead, you know, wake up and smoke a blunt and take a nap and like blah, 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 all this stuff, you know. It's like, to me, at a certain point, I just decided like, all right, if I'm going to be an adult, if I'm going to have made it to 30, then I guess I have to fucking go hard,
You know what's funny is that actually the demonetization probably helped you go super hard because you could have just vlogged and been that fucking guy.
Because I was so in awe of myself at that time. I was like,
you really were feeling yourself.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, bro, I'm making fucking 40 grand a month off this shit for nothing. Like, what is this? Like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
And then, it sort of went away, and I had to like work pretty fucking hard to get it back up to that, so, or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I thought about that the other day too, because like somebody from my management came here, and it was like he was just like, "Yo, I want to stop at the shop like when you guys are about to close, and I'll hang out with you for a couple hours." I'm like, "All right, cool." He comes back here. It's like me and like 5 or 6 different people. A couple of them are rappers. A couple of them are just friends. We in like a 2 or 3 hours back here, we probably watched we watched like 100 rap videos. We probably smoked 100 blunts. No, we probably smoked 15 blunts. And like the dude from my management, I just remember like kind of seeing in his eyes after a while that he was just like so astonished that like this is your ideal like Tuesday night off, is just sitting around with the boys, getting high as shit, and just like watching rap videos and sharing stories and anecdotes about those rap videos to the extent that it was like bizarre. And that made me feel really good about myself, that like, okay, this is my weird way of life that you don't relate to or understand in any way.
Watching music videos is one of my favorite pastimes. Like,
love it.
It's always like at my house or someone's house before we're about to go out. I'm like, let's watch some videos, have a few drinks, and then all of a sudden, like 3 hours later, I'm like, I don't want to go out. I want to keep doing this because it's so much fun.
Remember when we pissed those girls off?
Yeah,
we always tell the story.
Yeah, so we were watching videos, man, and it's like
watching rap videos with these
having a
fucking
blast.
2 like
We were
19-year-old
having a
girls,
blast.
loving it. We were loaded. We got drunk as shit. And these girls are just like looking back at each other like, like, this is so weird. That to me stood out very much as like a moment where I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I pretending to be on a date? Like, I will fuck a 19-year-old. I ain't trying to go on a fucking date with no 19-year-old in my adult life. Like, I honestly don't know what the fuck would happen after Lena at this point, because it's like, I feel like I've gotten kind of, like, I'm just not used to, I've like fucked a lot of girls with her and stuff, like while we've been together, and like I didn't really have to talk to them that much. I don't know how I'm going to backtrack on that.
Yeah, Lena, you just got a wife her.
Why do people keep saying that to me?
Huh? What do we? How far did we go?
We are 1 minute and 20 seconds, or 1 hour and 20 minutes in.
Oh, 120, not bad.
Not that bad.
I feel good.
I feel pretty good. Do you feel like there's anything else that we should cover here? I don't know. We covered like the future of the media
thanks
company.
so much for subscribing
and getting us to 1 million, an arbitrary number that really doesn't mean that much when you look at the fact that like the vlogs now on the second channel, a channel that has like less than 200,000 subscribers, those vlogs tend to get like almost the same number of views.
And congrats
as
on
the
those
channel with 1
subscribers
million.
so fast on the second channel. Like that's pretty huge.
Is that good?
Yeah. I mean, that's not easy. It's like
a lot of it was really the cheat code from the Lil Pump vlog doing so well.
Well, you fucking got it. So that's great.
And then they demonetized me.
A lot of people want that vlog. A lot of guys, there's a lot of like, right, every time you see any vlogger in LA or in the fucking, vlog scene or whatever, there's 5 people behind them doing it. When I saw that, one of those dudes, Jake or Logan Paul's assistant, had like 750,000, I was like, fucking A, like.
Followers?
Yeah, subscribers, Cause
anybody who hangs out in that weird clout gang / Team 10 world is like racked up on the gram. I don't know.
Crazy. It's crazy and it's scary because it's not that good and it's causing a lot of copycats and there's a lot of bad content be going out there and people getting like huge egos off of it and shit. And like,
I feel like you this year is to fucking Jake Paul as like I was to Fousey to maybe like a year and a half ago, which is sort of like this moment where you're like, whoa, so they're like the worst person ever and they're huge on YouTube.
I'm gonna have a Lamborghini. Yeah.
You want to know something I'm gonna let go that the world doesn't know?
Okay.
Fousey 2 DM'd me and asked me for an interview.
Boom.
I didn't respond because I didn't know what the fuck to say. I was on tour when this was like 2 months ago maybe. I thought about it a lot, like trying to think like what would I say to Fousey? But I'm so like disconnected from why I hated him when I made that one video that I was like, I can't think of anything I would say to him besides like, you're a dumbass and you're just corny and you're just a fucking, it's just.
He must be struggling. No offense, right? Because like he kind of blew way past it, and so or just he's just a savage,
They demonetized the fuck out of his shit.
They did.
Oh, he ain't making much, if nothing even close to what he was making, which really makes no sense because we really look at like his YouTube channel. It's like what was so bad about it? Like,
well, there's like YouTubers that exist in worlds that like people I just totally forgot. Literally forgot about Fousey Tube, and I haven't heard that name in so long.
And because, you know, and he was all you heard about last year, and now all you hear about is Jake Paul.
Yeah. And then it's like, how long is your run going to be? Like, how are you going to save the money? How are you going to turn it into something else or whatever?
And there's a degree to which they're like being the villain. And that's like one of the easiest ways to blow up is just to sort of be so shitty that everybody has to talk about you all the time. But then, like, what's the long-term worth of that?
Jake, I think, kind of smart in making a team, you know? So hopefully maybe he can just like sit back and...
But the way that the team keeps falling apart and all these people keep turning on him and shit, it's just insane. These fucking gay twins turned on him and said he was beating them and shit.
What Fousey
No, they're not gay. Sorry, they're not gay.
Fousey was...
Muslim.
But he was doing like pranks and like I got on a plane. Was he the plane guy?
No, that was this dude Adam Sellis, I think. He
Dude,
was the one who
shit.
was like basically like making people who weren't terribly Islamophobic seem like they were Islamophobic.
I recently watched this one dude. This happened a while back, but it was a dude at like VidCon cursing out a security guard, calling the security guard ugly.
Oh, that was Christian something. Yeah, I forget his
So
name.
I watched that, and he was got and I was watching H3H3. Who, by the way, I didn't see that chick, the girlfriend he has in the videos now. I love that chick.
Yeah.
There's like nothing going on, but
That's
maybe
like his
so
ropesman.
much going on. Like that girl, like that's the kind of girl I love.
She's like the least likely YouTuber that you could ever imagine. Even him, really.
She's fantastic. It's so funny. But
I did a bad job of keeping up on the controversy that he's embroiled in.
he won the lawsuit.
Okay, there was that, but then like a lot of people have been mad at him lately and stuff, and I don't really even know.
He
why.
won the lawsuit because he was making fun of that like
The pickup artist guy, yeah.
Jesus, is that cat? You know what I think I have?
He wants
PTSD from
food.
cockroaches.
Dude.
When I have this table and we're doing this, I'm like,
Cat wants food because he got the surgery. We couldn't give him much food today.
all right, we'll get him.
No,
But,
he can't have any.
all right, we won't get him.
Okay.
The thing with that guy was, okay, so that guy cursed out the people at VidCon. Then H3 roasted him. So I started looking at this guy's social media or whatever, and there was a video of him getting his ass beat by some other guy. So I went to the other guy, and it was like some guy who's got like 1.2 million on Instagram and 500,000 on YouTube or whatever. And he's like just kind of like just a normal ass guy, like he's kind of like a thirst trap guy or whatever.
Who beat up the little model kid, Christian?
Yeah, and it's just like there's these kids that just exist out there. There's like a, I don't know. It would be interesting to see like how many accounts on Instagram have over 1 million followers or whatever, because I feel like it's just kind of risen, and now it's like, is that even a lot?
1 million? It's definitely a lot.
It's definitely a lot, but it's like if there's you don't know every million account, whereas maybe you kind of
But I mean, like anyone who has 1 million has definitely like made a name for themselves in a way. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're probably, do you know who Roy Purdy is? The dancing kid.
Yeah. And
I mean,
even before,
that's tough to make sense of too, because it's like he has done viral stuff, but like those viral things don't necessarily seem like you should have 1 million followers for just those things. But at the end of the day, people like him. People just latch onto it. Like, you know, the Boonk thing, the Fat Boy interviews that I just did. It's like, I mean, being funny on Instagram is like exactly the same as like being an actor on a TV show, right? Like it's just more real. It's more indicative of your actual personality.
Maybe not. I think there's a lot of similarities. But what I want to say is that I have recently looked up Damn Daniel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how's this dude? He hasn't like posted since August or whatever, you know?
Really?
And it's like, because there was nothing there ever. It was just like this one random kind of weird thing, and then got on Ellen, and all of a sudden, like, but somebody like that with nothing there can actually turn it into a something a lot of times, you know, with just enough motor and enough like annoying bullshit or whatever. You can just motor your way into this success or whatever, and a lot of people want to hate on it, but there's like this tiny part of me that still has this admiration. Like, Jake Paul is the hardest rapper out right now. He has the Gucci Man verse, and I don't care that he paid, you know, $250,000 for it. It's like he was able to afford that, A, making him a hard rapper, and B, like he got one of your favorite, most respected dudes of all time to be on a song with him. He's not even good. He's not even close to good. He's like an absolute joke and like a villain.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not really. The fact that Gucci did that for Jake Paul and did it the way he did was a diss. You know, Gucci dissed him on his own song.
That's fine. He's still on the song. I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot of people that don't
still,
have
it's still a loss. Like, he's still. I mean, Jake Paul is operating in a world in which negative publicity and like all this bad stuff is actually somehow good. And like,
yeah,
I don't agree with it. I'm not going to just like cave and be like, oh, Jake Paul got a Gucci Mane verse. Like, you know, a lot of people have Gucci Mane verses. A lot of horrible rappers have Gucci verses, and it's not really like. if anything, the interesting thing about Jake Paul is that people are acting like it's so interesting that he has a Gucci verse because, I mean, V Nasty did a whole fucking mixtape with Gucci.
Okay, yeah. So I guess for some reason though he was able to spin it and it became this big story.
Everything he does is so big that it's like, you know, of course it was worth $250,000. He even said it. He said in a video that if he makes $100,000, that like $100,000 in a day is a bad day for him.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That was kind of shocking.
We gotta stop talking about this dude. I'm sorry I brought him up.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's just such a crazy anomaly.
It's funny that you have a fascination with him right now because I definitely don't. But I was interested for a little bit. To me, like, I went through that period where I was really interested in Fousey, and like I was never that interested in Jake Paul. But Keemstar, he wraps it up every day, so I don't have to. I watch Drama Lord, and that's it. I would never watch. I watch Phil DeFranco sometimes too.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to stay like that. I think Keemstar is like almost like too deep for me. I need to know like this guy did this and this and all the drama stuff, you know. Yeah. But I'm actually actively searching for like the channels that I actually do want to follow, like the people that actually may be interesting or whatever, and it's like. My favorite, and everyone, like, a lot of people agree, but like my favorite platform of all time was Vine by far. And like when Viners were really going, like not the Viners that we know now, but like the Gen 1 Viners or whatever, like when like Nick Coletti was like really going on Vine, that was so much fun. And it was like these people actually have talent, they're interesting, they're making these little bits, and it's like this is fun. And there's got to be that kind of person on YouTube somewhere that I'm just trying to find, you know, and I'm just looking for it.
Yeah, I went through that too. Like, where now I feel like a little bit more established in the channels that I follow. But you know how you go, you have YouTube. Everyone's had YouTube since way forever ago, 10 years ago. But then once you start subscribing to channels and you start to get into that mode of like, oh, maybe I'm gonna watch a couple videos per day from channels. Like, it's weird to sort of start to establish like who your guys are. Even though, I mean, I like watching vlogs. There's just not a lot of people whose vlogs I like watching. Like, I don't watch Casey Neistat anymore. I get why people watch my vlogs. I would watch my vlogs if I wasn't me. That's one thing I feel somewhat confident in because I actually keep it real.
The way I watch your vlog is I click and I click and I click. You know, like I don't sit there and I like no offense, I don't have like 10, 12 minutes just to, and I know I was talking about Netflix shows, but those are like produced whatever, and it's like if your vlog is a very interesting topic or subject or whatever, you know, or like special, like a lot of you talking to people, or you're like breaking down an important thing, you know, that's why the clickbait shit I think happens or whatever. Then it's like, okay, I gotta watch this because, you know, something important is being said or whatever. But like I know what happens with you on a day-to-day basis, and I know basically
that's the thing. My vlogs now though is I don't really make a vlog unless it's good, pretty much. There's been a few exceptions, but like I made a bad one this weekend. It wasn't bad. It was actually really good. It was just badly made because there was a lot of Snapchats.
It's weird if you get even the smallest vlog audiences, they just want more and they ask for more and they hit you up and whatever. And it's like, you know, I have no subscribers, but there's still like 3-4 people are like, do a vlog, man. I'm like,
it's really weird to think that if I had stayed daily, that my vlogs would probably be like way bigger than they are because that daily thing is so huge for people. Like,
yeah, you just want to go feed it every day and like. That's, I think, the one thing about Jake Paul that he does something wild every day, like Fantasy Factory style or whatever. Like, today we're you know.
And you think about the big difference between Jake Paul and somebody like Casey Neistat is that Casey Neistat was a daily vlogger and still is, who lives this crazy lifestyle because he has to do his own edit. And then you have somebody like Jake Paul who doesn't do his own edit. So it's like he just gets to have this camera and do all this crazy shit. And he's not thinking about like the way he's going to edit it. So it's so much like less artfully done in comparison to the way that Casey Neistat was doing it.
But they're all about the comedy edits or whatever, the whoosh and like quick like sound effects and like the quick cuts.
None of that is funny to me in any way.
It's comedy for 11-year-olds. It's it's a comedy that would make you laugh when you're 11 and that's it. And whatever. But like I'm just thinking like the constantly upping the stakes in terms of like I'm vlogging, which made me rich, and now I have to flaunt my richness to do crazier shit, to like buy this bigger house, buy this bigger thing. I want to see how far that goes, and that's kind of maybe the interesting thing is like, are they going to buy a yacht and just set it on fire, you know, hopefully, or some stupid shit or whatever.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I want to see like, I want to see how far that goes. That's interesting to me, and then I also want to see like someone who actually comes out and like is like, here's quality, good, and most of that stuff is actually. Do you know about David Dobrik yet?
Yeah.
and Liza and all them, because that's like good vlogging in 2017, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. I
It's
mean,
short, it's well put together. He'll film for a fucking half hour and then use like a 5-second
Who I
joke.
like a lot, and we had him on was Cody Ko.
Yeah, he's good.
Because he's very like social commentary on like what's going on, and he'll like make fun of some shit or whatever. And yeah, I really
He
like
made
his
fun
style.
of Russ. He just made a video making fun of Russ.
Yeah, I
super
retweeted
funny.
that from the
Yeah.
No Jumper account
Great.
because I was like, let's go. Like,
Great content.
Yeah,
Loved
really
it.
good, really good. So I don't know, it's a whole bunch of weird shit, but fuck
You
it.
cold?
No, man, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. I guess we could wrap this up. Anything we should end on? Shit.
Go to www.robesman.com.
NoJumper.com.
Buy a shirt from him and me.
YouTube.com/Adam22forever. I just want to say that it always seems like it's going to matter when you hit like a certain, mark. And I just want to say that I feel nothing. 1 million subscribers feels exactly the same as, 900,000. So I guess it feels good to have the M, but really I feel nothing. I just want to throw that out there.
And that's been No Jumper.
No Jumper. Coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Nothing matters. Peace. Shout out Roseman.
Later.
Gang.
I'm ballin' like an alpha, I got no joy. I'm ballin' like an alpha, I got no